Do we? Let's cut that out. Let's start.
I might. We'll see.
Yeah,
Oh.
just start where he said, let's cut that out, so no one knows what to cut out.
Oh, I like that. All right. So, yeah, guys, welcome back to another episode of the BSQ podcast. This is our second episode. I am one of your hosts here today. My name is Jared. I am joined by my good friend Tyler.
What's up, dude?
And I'm also joined by my other good friend, Charlie.
Why'd you pause when you said between the good friend?
It's because last episode I called you animator extraordinaire. So I was like, can I come up with something on the fly? And no, it didn't happen. Yeah, because
good cover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to be the special regular guest.
Yes, I'm the special guest who's been in all episodes so far. So
is that an upgrade or a downgrade to go from animator extraordinaire to just good friend?
honestly, I'll take the good friend. I'm glad I'm valued outside of what I provide to society.
Oh, that's good. That's a good way to look at it. Damn.
That's a very positive way to look at it. I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for
no-
rolling
no-
with the punches.
No problem. Oh, Tyler just fell out of his chair and cracked his skull on the ground.
Oh my God, we need to call an ambulance.
Dude, it's bad because he's the only one with any medical experience.
Good thing we have backup Tyler here. This is backup Tyler, everybody.
Hey, backup Tyler, can you say hi?
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Welcome back up, Tyler. So today, our topic for the day is going to be Star Wars, which I'm thinking this almost more than anything else will be filled to the brim with our hot takes. Somebody is leaving here with their jugular slashed, just side to side.
Dude, all I know is it's a good thing that YouTube removed the dislike button.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna have some unpopular opinions. Charlie, I know, is gonna have some unpopular opinions.
I think my opinions are pretty good though.
I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with what we've talked about before, but I'm interested to see where this discussion is going to lead us. So yeah, we're just going to talk about everything Star Wars for an episode.
A very unique concept. 3 adult men talking about how they feel about Star Wars and why Disney ruined it. Very
Never before heard on
groundbreaking.
YouTube.
Yeah. So before we get into all the Star Wars stuff, let's try to go over our weekly catch up. Right, so these are, we got some like fun kind of like nerdy headlines. On the topic of Star Wars, James Earl Jones is stepping away and he is retiring from the role of Darth Vader officially.
Damn.
Thank God Disney got all the amount of voice lines they need to run that into an AI.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that's like, Tyler laughs, but like they already did that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah, you can go. We got all the basic vowels and shit.
Yeah, it's terrifying that we're pretty much just seeing the degradation of like talent, basically, just because Disney is just moving towards the AI side of things for art.
Just like the big thing right now online is making art using AI. It's like, whoa, the AI drew an anime girl. The AI made up a Pokemon. We don't need There's people saying that we don't need like actual artists anymore because now we can just have computers make art, which is
the only thing that AI is good at is making like the back room like scary creepypasta shit come to life.
Yeah,
that's fair. I get like
AI is like a toy. I don't think it's I don't think it can ever replace art. Like AI made music or AI made images. Like it's like a fun gimmick, but it's. I don't know. I think people are hyping it up are the same kind of people. Like NFTs are the future. As the market is collapsing.
Yeah, like I think a lot of the AR is cool. Like how you said, it's like a toy, Yeah. Like I think it was interesting when I said I did something with one of like the AI programs the other day, and it was like Phoenix Wright like with a shotgun, right? So like it was interesting to see like what that crapped out.
Yeah.
Right? But like people are saying that it's gonna like actually like replace artists are I think they're just brain dead.
They're probably terminally online if you ask me.
Yeah.
Wait, and we aren't?
Well, you know, we have jobs.
We touch grass. We're fine.
Yeah.
Next up, so the 17-year-old who hacked and leaked GTA 6 has been arrested in the UK.
Damn.
I'm sorry. If the cybersecurity team at your company, this is coming from an IT guy, lets a 17-year-old phish someone, I think that 17-year-old should get away with it. I'm going to be honest with you. This kid hasn't even graduated high school yet.
I mean, I think arresting him is a bit extreme. You know, he technically like broke laws and stuff, but he is only 17.
Extreme? He didn't kill a man. This
mean,
is copyright we're talking about. He's going to get the death penalty here, right?
Yeah, no, that's how it is in the media world.
Yep. So, do you guys know about the phishing scam that he put out for this?
No, I don't know much besides that a kid leaked GTA.
Yeah. So basically, what happens? This is to my understanding. So in general, when it's like a phishing email, right? It's when you essentially trick people into voluntarily giving up their information.
Mm-hmm.
So someone on the dev team for GTA 6 actually put in their username and password on like a fake email that this kid created, right? And then that gave this kid access to the Rockstar. It's Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
Rockstar.
Yeah.
Rockstar Slack account that they had. So so like all the chats, like the reason how so much leaked is just because they probably just uploaded all those files to Slack to be like, hey guys, this is like what our newest version of the game looks like.
You can put a fucking video game build on Slack?
Well, so it was like MP4s.
Oh,
Yeah.
MP4s. Okay, I was gonna say like I thought Slack was just Boomer Discord.
Yeah, I mean it kind of is.
It is, yeah.
No, I use it.
Yeah, so that was kind of funny. Yeah, so a Rockstar employee voluntarily basically gave up their info. It's very funny.
I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, that dude definitely got fired.
Oh, yeah. So we said it in the first episode. Now, some big news. Breath of the Wild 2 is now no longer called Breath of the Wild 2. It's called Tears of the Kingdom. Charlie, do you want to share the little piece of trivia that you shared earlier?
Yeah.
Where were you on March 10th, 2022?
For the unaware, the Nintendo Direct that ended up revealing this was in the UK. It was not held. They ended up just putting it online after the fact, but they did not live stream the Direct. And it is most people assume they didn't come out and say it obviously, but it was obvious to most people that they didn't have it in the UK because the game is called Tears of the Kingdom, and the Queen of England just died. So the timing is a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Nintendo UK YouTube channel was still in mourning, so they weren't able to live stream yet.
Yeah. They were legally required to mourn as you're in the UK.
Can I tell you how funny that is? Because like I'm imagining, and I've spoken to both of you guys kind of briefly about this. Could you imagine, right? So it's like the entirety of the UK basically had like a week of mourning when Elizabeth died, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine when like someone like Bush kicks the bucket? Can you imagine the memes and like how right? It's like week of mourning. People will be like fucking like hitting the gritty the second they hear that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that will be hilarious.
Well,
like,
I say all of my British friends. I have one British friend, and when the Queen died, I was like, sorry to hear about your Queen, mate. And he was like, oh no, I don't care. I'm celebrating. I guess they had like a nationwide like minute or something of silence or kind of. And he told me, he was like, I'm gonna make sure I am screaming as loud as I can for as long as I can during that minute.
Damn.
Yeah,
I would have thought it was Thatcher.
Yeah, see, apparently in the UK, the royalists are pretty much like. They're not like they're pretty much like how we have like the MAGA group here. Mm-hmm. Maybe bleep that one out so we don't divide the audience too much.
It's fine. I don't
want to be too political.
No,
that was not even political.
Just mentioning them in any context that isn't praising the glorious leaders.
Yeah, but this is good because this might pop off the YouTube AI. They might hear this and be like, "Oh, this is the kind of podcast we got to recommend."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the royalists are pretty much like that, where they just like blindly worship the royal family because good, I guess. But yeah, it's a shame that the whole island's sad about Jeffrey Epstein's best friend dying.
Yep. Yeah, she was a great wife to her cousin. Anyway, next piece of cool nerdy news. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will be in Deadpool 3, and that is releasing, I believe, in 2025 or 2026. It's going to be the first movie of Phase 6 of the MCU.
Yeah. So they're in the MCU now.
So are we going to be gobbling Aviation Jim in honor of
Say that again?
Aviation Jim. That's Ryan Reynolds' celebrity liquor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, then yes. I say
and then we'll switch over to his celebrity mobile plan, Mint Mobile.
Oh yeah.
Switch over? What do you mean? I'm on Mint Mobile right now.
Wow. Yeah, Mint Mobile. It's
really?
only $15 a month forever. The price will never be raised.
Damn, that's insane.
I've had this for about 2 years now. It's actually stayed the same. It's actually really good.
You can head on down to Target right now and get the Mint Mobile plus Arizona iced tea starter pack. $15.99 gets you 1 month of Mint Mobile and a single can of Arizona iced tea.
And in the off chance that there's someone listening who I do not know personally, I have the refer a friend to get 3 months on us bonus right now.
Yeah.
So by all means, if you're interested.
First person to go on the link will get Jared's free month for Mint Mobile. The code will definitely won't be used before this is up. I'm definitely not taking that.
You can if you want. Anyway, and then we have one more piece of news. Charlie, I think you have some opinions on this, so I want you to take this last piece.
I'm concerned by all these letters. Like, I don't know what this is referring to.
Yeah, that'll be a little inside joke for us reading the script, but they announced a new Pokemon this week, which normally that wouldn't be like, weekly big news, but I think it's pretty funny because this little guy has caused quite a divisiveness online. There are people losing their absolute minds over a little guy known as Wiglet. You can put him up on the screen. He's
Wait, that was real?
Yeah, Wiglet. Yeah, white Diglett. I'm sure the W stands for like water. Because he's instead of a mole, it's a little eel, and the whole thing is like, oh, these two species like just happen to evolve to fill the same niche. It's like a real thing. I think it's called convergent evolution. Because divergent is when one species splits off into two to like it adapts. But convergent, it's when two unrelated species that like they're not in the same family, they don't share any DNA, happen to evolve to pretty much be the exact same thing. I don't know if this is a good example of it, but like the Tanuki looks like a raccoon, like it looks really close to a raccoon, but it's not related to one at all. There's also hedgehog and some other thing that I can't remember that both evolved to be the same, but yeah, so they're doing that in Pokemon, but people are pissed off because it's just white long Diglett.
Despite the fact that they make a game about evolution, there's a whole lot of troglodytes working at Niantic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Niantic is just Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a Game Freak.
Sorry.
Yeah. Come on,
I'm only a novice. So.
Yeah. I mean, come on. We got to take our fanboy rage out on the right people, at least. We do our due diligence here over at BS Crew Inc.
I mean, Niantic sucks ass, but they're not responsible. They didn't give us Wiglet. I actually like Wiglet. I don't mind.
I think it's cute. Yeah,
it's a little on the nose. The whole like, oh yeah, look, it's convergent evolution. It looks like Diglett, but it's a coincidence.
What did Tumblr say?
I think I honestly,
I don't even.
Some people think it either looks stupid or they love it, right? And there's not really much of a middle ground there.
Yeah, a lot of people are just confused on the concept, which I get, but like that's the whole joke. They literally revealed it by having like a fake webinar and a bunch of people like, is that Diglett? It looks like Diglett, but it's not.
Okay, I kind of like that though. Like how they had the forest thing for Sword and Shield when like Impidimp was revealed.
Yeah,
it was like the trail cams. Like, I like the more creative approach that they take with that. Too bad it just doesn't make it to the games. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Yeah,
we're here to talk about another large, long running multimedia franchise, which is I think number 2 on the overall gross rank. Either that. It's either number 2 or number 3. A Hello Kitty might be number 2.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up while Jared begins us off.
Yeah. So today, as we already said earlier,
we're talking about Fortnite.
Fortnite, baby. Yeah, Darth Vader's in Fortnite. So Star Wars discussion podcast here. So I mean, all three of us have had some kind of interest in Star Wars for a very, very long time. Like pretty much everybody else in America, right? I've only met like one person that I can think of who hasn't seen a Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of inescapable when you're talking about like the pop culture.
At least in our generation,
Oh yeah.
The quick to just go back to it. I got the list up. So Star Wars is actually not in the top 3.
Really?
We got number 1 is Pokemon, which has I guess grossed about $118.5 billion since 96.
Wait, hold on. I'm guessing, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, that one of the 3 is Minecraft.
You'd actually be wrong. It's not even in the top. Minecraft's not in the top 10. Damn. Next up, we got Hello Kitty, which is only the power gap here. Pokemon's 118 billion. Hello Kitty is down to 88.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
And Hello Kitty is also like 22 years older. Next, we got Mickey Mouse, which I'm honestly surprised. Like,
I think he's bigger, like as a standalone character overseas.
Yeah, this is also considering they're listing this as he's made $82.9 billion since 1928. So definitely not as
Yeah.
Then we got Winnie the Pooh, 81, and Star Wars is sitting at a comfortable $69 billion since 1977.
Nice. Lucas would appreciate it that way.
Yeah. And in case anyone's curious, Mario's right after Star Wars.
But yeah, so I mean, all of us have some sort of like a vested interest in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people in our generation, I grew up watching the prequels and the Clone Wars series, both of them. the Gendy Tartakovsky, or I can never say his last name correctly, but the guy who did
Dexter's
Samurai
Lab
Jack.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Primal.
Yeah, he's great. So I mean, I watched the Clone War, the 3D animated one growing up. Same thing with like a bunch of other friends. I played a shit ton of Battlefront 2 and The Force Unleashed on the PlayStation, and I never really thought that we were going to get new Star Wars movies, to be honest with you. I just kind of figured that it was like, oh, it came and went. We might get games and stuff, and I saw all the new movies in theaters, so the new trilogy plus Solo and Rogue One, and thanks to just kind of Disney is taking a very kind of like Marvel approach to a lot of it. And so like I don't know, I've kind of lost like a lot of the love that I have for the franchise. Like the good stuff is still good, right? Like some of it's perfect. Like Mandalorian I think is awesome. But I think there's a lot of other stuff that Disney has done with these movies and even like some of the Disney Plus stuff that just it feels kind of unneeded.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the original 3 movies, and then I saw the prequels, and then I saw nothing. I didn't watch any of the sequels for a very long time because I just did not care in the slightest. When the last movie of the Skywalker saga came out, I watched the 3 sequels, and then I watched Solo and Rogue One with the fam.
Nice.
I actually haven't seen either of those. I haven't seen any of the spin-offs.
I think that they're better than the actual movies.
That's what I've heard. I've been meaning to watch Rogue One.
It was almost like one set of those movies was like made by people who like wanted to make a Star Wars movie, and the other set was made by people who wanted to make money.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? Modern day Hollywood just loves money.
Yeah. So, Charlie, tell us about you and Star Wars.
Wait, hold on. I've also seen the Disney Plus shows, just not the Obi-Wan one.
Oh, okay.
That one's actually pretty good, but I'll get to that.
And I've also played a lot of Lego Star Wars.
Oh, Lego Star Wars.
Unhealthy amount of Lego Star Wars.
If I can sum up my Star Wars childhood, it is my dad forcing us, not forcing us, but he sat us down and was like, we're watching this, and we watched a bunch of them in a row. It was very, as a small child having to sit down for more than 20 minutes, painful. But he showed us all the movies out of the time. It was the first 6. I don't remember if he showed us in episode order or release order.
I watched them in release order. In the first 3 I saw on VHS.
That's what I'm assuming it was. But I didn't see episode 7 came out like when we were in high school, and I didn't see that until a while later because the Monday after it came out, some dude in my first class in high school decided we sat down and he was like, "Hey, Han Solo died," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like I haven't even seen it yet."
What a dick!
Yeah,
those people that like post spoilers on Twitter, even like outside of Star Wars, I'm like, what kind of satisfaction do you get from this?
Yeah, they just revel like, haha, I ruined it for you.
Dude, the same kind of satisfaction that Harrison Ford got from never having to play Han Solo ever again.
Hey, he was in episode 9. He came back.
Oh,
he was he a Force ghost or was it just hallucination?
Jury's still out on that one. I like to think it was a hallucination, but
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
they did like DMT, right? And then
yeah.
I don't remember. It's a little funny.
They might as well.
But then I did see episode 8 and 9 when they came out with my dad and my brother. It became like a little thing, all the boys going to see Star Wars. And then I've watched the shows with my dad too. My dad's a big Star Wars guy, so we've watched Mando, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan. We're planning on watching Andor. I haven't been able to turn them on to like Clone Wars. Andor is like the newest live action series.
Cassian Andor, he was one of the lead characters of Rogue One.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get my dad to watch the animated ones. It's just like the older person, like cartoons. Even though
his son is an animator.
Yeah, well, but yeah. But I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself like a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a very surface level. Like I know more than like someone who hasn't seen it, but like I'm not like. Like when they make a bad thing, I'm not like sending death threats to the workers at Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you've touched grass?
Yeah, believe it or not. But I appreciate Star Wars, except when it comes to the Disney parks. In which case, hate Star Wars. Fuck Star Wars. Stop putting They've put Star Wars in everything. I could go on a rant about that, but we can save that for another episode.
Theme park episode, dude.
Yeah.
We should do a theme park episode.
Yeah, we should do a theme park episode. We'll have to come back.
We're going to have to dedicate a lot of Star Wars time to that because I'm very confused.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much. It would. I mean, if you want to go over it now, we can.
No. In the future.
We'll save it. We'll save it for a future episode. Maybe we'll do a theme park episode somewhere down the line.
Episode 3.
But Star Wars is just like a plague that has been infesting Disney from the inside out.
So So I mean,
that's one way to put it.
Yeah. Well, that is an opinion that I would love to talk about sometime. But it's kind of like I feel like the main points of contention with that us three, as well as just kind of the general public, are with the sequel era, and I think there's some scorching hot takes that I've heard over the past handful of years. Again, I watched all the pretty much all 5 of the Disney Star Wars movies. I think that 3 out of the 5 of them were pretty decent.
Hold on, I'm running the numbers here.
There was 5.
Yeah, I know, but which 3?
Okay, so I'm gonna go out and say this. When I saw The Force Awakens in the theaters, I thought it was great,
dude. I remember that. Did you just point at the screen? You're like, I remember that. I remember the Millennium Falcon. I remember.
Oh, I remember.
Here's the thing.
Remember Star Wars.
Remember Chewbacca.
I get it. But at the same time, I think that for being the first Star Wars movie in like probably 15, 20 years at that point. It was
something like
that. Episode 3 came out I think in like 2003 or something. But
was it that? I thought it was like before even the turn of the century.
No, I think Phantom Menace came out in 99.
Oh, so, okay. I thought it came out earlier in the 90s. All right.
But I actually really enjoyed Force Awakens. Again, I take it for what it is because I was like, oh, this is probably like a reintroduction. Because if you think about it, the entire purpose of that was to be a reintroduction for like this like next generation of fans. Now, don't get me wrong, the rest of the sequel movies and just Disney's lack of planning with the sequel era blew that out of the water. They were just like let's see what sticks, like let's bring in Rian Johnson, and but with no game plan.
Best sequel director.
Okay, here's the thing. He's definitely the best director, but between him and J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson clears as like an actual director.
Jon Favreau would like to have a conversation with you.
Well, yeah, okay, but he hasn't directed the movies though.
If he did a movie, it would probably be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm down for it. But yeah, no, so I mean, going back to my original thing, how there was 3 out of the 5 movies that I thought were really good. So I thought Force Awakens is like solid. I was like, that's a good reintroduction. Like it is kind of like member berries.
Literally.
And then Rogue One was obviously fantastic.
Rogue One was awesome.
I actually just saw it in IMAX a few weeks ago because they did like a re-release thing for Andor coming out.
Oh, okay.
So
that must have been sick, actually.
Yeah, so I went with Amanda and some of her coworkers. I guess one of her coworkers is like a big Star Wars nerd as well, and he heard about it, so we all went to go see it, and it was awesome. Like the movie still held up. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen it.
If it's still in theaters, I'm gonna have to go see it.
And I'm gonna go out and go on a limb here because this is a very unpopular opinion. I have gotten chastised for this. Solo is the best Star Wars movie.
Best Star Wars movie?
Absolutely. It's
really?
In my mind, it is the best, and I don't think it gets any better.
It's the best because one of the guys wants to fuck a robot, right?
Yeah, dude, that's it. Listen, you can't go like that.
It's Lando, right? Lando's the one who wants to fuck a robot.
Yeah, that's him. But you can't be like, oh my god, he wants to fuck a robot when like Luke wanted to fuck his sister. Okay, like this.
All right, but he didn't know they were siblings because they hadn't written that at that point.
But yeah, no, I think Solo is everything that I want in a Star Wars movie, which is like originality, right? Which I feel like, as opposed to like all the other stories that we got, like don't get me wrong, I'm sure seeing A New Hope in '77 was like life changing for a lot of people, but in the grand scope of like all these other movies that we have now, Solo really stands out to me. Is probably the most unique.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say, but from what I've heard, it's just like, hey, remember that throwaway line that Han Solo said at one point? We're gonna explain why he said that. Yeah,
but it's not like how I said that there was like the Marvelification. I think that like it towed that line really well personally, because the actual him doing the Kessel Run is an awesome scene.
So I didn't really like the movie when I first watched it. Like, it didn't feel like a Star Wars movie. Like Rogue One, even though like it's outside of like the 9 movie saga or whatever, it still felt like it belonged. Whereas Solo didn't feel like that. And I don't know if it's because it wasn't the OG actors. Like, I just was taken aback by the fact, but it, like, you know, Childish Gambino is out here gambling his spaceship and fucking a robot. Yeah.
So,
He's
sorry. Continue.
No, go ahead.
So I think the whole reason why I like Solo so much, and I've even done so for like role playing games and stuff that, right? For a while, I actually it wound up not coming to fruition, but I had this entire thing planned for like a Star Wars RPG, right? I was gonna do a campaign with a few friends, but
the first time.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay, we don't talk about that first time when we were in like we were in high school, but it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, we'll just cut this out, just like that thing that Charlie said before.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Was, like, really out of pocket. Yeah.
Cut out the awkward silences.
But so the thing that I like about Star Wars and why it interests me so much is that there's so much more to it other than the Skywalker saga.
You wouldn't realize it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you really wouldn't realize it until you like read the books. And
I was gonna say you only get that if you read the books, read the comics, play the games.
And I think that's some of the best stuff that we have, right?
Yeah. So here's my piping hot take. That's not piping hot because it's someone else's take that I saw online. Okay. And ever since I watched this like little YouTube documentary, I can't unsee this like story, right? So are you okay if this gets a little spoiled for you?
Which one are you spoiling?
Solo.
Oh yeah, you can spoil it.
Okay. So the fuckable meat robot, right? Their whole shtick is that they don't want to see other robots in servitude.
Sure. Yeah.
But then ultimately they are like put in indefinite servitude as the computer of the ship, like against their will.
I heard about that.
Like it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, right? Like so like it's like this campy movie where the directors are like, what if we had this conversation about like slavery and feminism, but then like completely undercut everything that we've made up for this entire movie by just making her a slave to the ship.
Here's the thing, right? I get that it's called Star Wars. I get that. Okay, like having like political commentary is kind of baked into it, even just like the name.
Well, it's not that it was like political commentary. It was like they were trying to make a movie for the new age, but then like they still completely fucking bombed it.
Oh yeah, but that's also Hollywood. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And, like I would argue that Star Wars, at least in the movies, doesn't have that kind of nuance. Okay, they were trying to do this whole political thing in the prequels, and it just fell on its face.
Right.
I will say, I think stuff like the Clone Wars, for example, like the 3D animated series, does an incredible job with some of like their one-off episodes, just showing like what the Separatists are doing to like these other planets, or even, or like showing like the multi-level, like political aspects,
like
of just the Jedi existing. Right?
What it would be like if there was a smaller version of Jabba the Hutt.
Oh man, listen. Okay. I'm going to say probably my hottest take about Star Wars. Okay, and then by all means, you guys can jump into anything else. I feel like I'm dominating this, and I apologize.
No, I know. But I'm basically attacking you, right? Like I'm shitting on your favorite movie. So
okay, but it sucks being a Star Wars fan because half of the movies suck. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Are we in agreement to that? I've been yelled at before for that.
I don't know. I haven't seen some of them in a long time, but I guess like the ones that people consider bad, I'm usually like, no, but they're all right. There's something to enjoy.
Yeah. So I do have like an entire, not a tier list, but basically like a general.
Why no? We've argued about this before.
Yes. I think the bottom 3, and I think we can all agree that these are the bottom 3. I just think that they might be in different orders.
Okay.
Right? Rise of Skywalker.
No.
Attack of the Clones. The Phantom Menace.
Attack of the Clones is 2, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, and 9 as like the bottom 3 movies.
Oh wait,
like
Rise.
one?
I was thinking of.
You like Phantom Menace? Hold on, I'm sorry, Charlie. You like Phantom Menace?
But pod racing.
I don't know. It's like the idea that space aids gives these Jedis their magic is kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of endearing.
Yeah, Palpatine gave Anakin's mom space aids, and it birthed him.
I hate how that's canon.
Anakin's technically Jesus in the universe.
I know.
And that makes Palpatine God.
He has hatred of sand, and
I feel like you're fucking with me.
And then there's like another Star Wars meta commentary on slavery.
Isn't the hatred of sand in the next one?
Yeah, that was in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but still, like, it's because he's from the desert.
Yeah.
it's very deep.
It's like this,
Trauma.
right? You know? Like, they have the entire galaxy to talk about, right? But
Sure.
one is the fact that this shithole desert planet in the bumfuck nowhere is like the center of the universe.
Yeah, there's
Like, without that movie, it's just a sandy desert. But with that movie, it's like it's the sandy planet.
Yeah, there's an unrealistic amount of important things that happen on fucking Tatooine.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's the most boring fucking setting.
Yeah, literally.
Like I don't.
But it's
I
like,
don't-
oh, we're back.
And
Mando
everyone who
has to
talks
get
about
that.
it, like in the movies, they're like, yeah, dude, it's just like a ghetto shithole. Everyone who comes here dies.
Yeah.
Don't worry, like at least 8 of our 9 movies are gonna take place here.
This is where every relevant person in the galaxy is born.
Yeah. So, Charlie, I would be curious to hear what you think about this. So, for Rise of Skywalker, I think it's a dog shit movie.
Oh, that's number 9, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say I think it's bad in terms of that it ruined everything that 8 had kind of set up. Because 8, I'll get into this, but 8, I think, took the groundwork of 7 and started to move things. Like, it was like, okay, you remember everything, right? Now we're going to do something new. And not all of it worked, but they still like, oh, here's some new stuff going on. And then 9 comes along and it's like, yeah, but it was actually Palpatine the whole time. Somehow Palpatine returned. They say that.
Yeah.
They're like, somehow. It's like, that's not good writing.
I think it's the worst. That is the worst line of dialogue in cinema in the past like 20 years. Because it
Somehow.
absolutely unravels an entire like 50-year-old franchise at this point. Like it is.
Yeah.
It's insane.
There's
to
only
me.
one bad person in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Fascism is one dude's fault.
Well, in the weird thing, in this is why I think the sequel stuff frustrated me so much. Like I'm over it now because I'm like whatever. But like when it first came out and I saw The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I walked out of both of those movies being like, I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. And I think a large part of it is because you could just tell Disney had no fucking idea what they wanted to do with this trilogy. If they could have just, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like all the movies are like that, though, right? Like if you watched it probably like the way that we did, right? And you watched 3, 4, 5, and then you go and you watch the prequels, right? Like it's all just a disjointed shit show, right?
Yeah,
Like
especially
the fact
original.
that canonically you're going from 6 to 7 is like an absolute mindfuck.
I mean,
Like so much happens in between those movies that's not explained to you.
right, yeah. Well,
yeah, because it's like what, like 40 goddamn years.
Yeah.
I think it's 20. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, Luke did not age well. No offense to Mark Hamill. It's mostly how they dress. Mark Hamill's,
Dude, he
I could be
lost
wrong
like
on the
60
20, yeah.
pounds to reprise the role.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think but yeah, like you could just tell that Disney didn't have a game plan. Like in the original trilogy, they didn't either, but each movie I think stands up on its own as its own
Only
merits.
a cinematic genius would start their series with movie number 4.
Well, I don't think that was intended though.
No,
right?
no, that was
'Cause
definitely like a.
the original sequel trilogy that George Lucas had planned takes place basically right after Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's extended canon and everything that they did. Like there was a shit ton of books that came out. Like Grand Admiral Thrawn was from there, in like which he's now probably coming back. He was in Rebels, but I guess now he's coming back in Ahsoka, which is cool.
If you look at
but-
the wider like cinematic universe, right? Mandalorian and Boba Fett takes place between
6 and
6 and 7.
Yeah.
correct, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so I think Ahsoka would as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. I know I'm forgetting something.
There's yeah.
Andor's between 3 and 4, which I think is cool. I think that's probably like my favorite era of Star Wars. Like I get that it's kind of edgy because like Order 66 happened, all the Jedi are gone, you know.
Oh, Obi-Wan's between 3 and 4 too.
Oh right, yes, yeah,
I liked Obi-Wan.
Rogue One
I
is
didn't.
between 3 and 4.
yes,
And
yep.
then Solo is before that, but also between 3 and 4.
Yeah, so Solo is before Obi-Wan, but it's still between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Not to go back in, but I just realized an even better example of how it doesn't make sense to have been 20 years. Harrison Ford.
It might have been more than 20 years. I don't think it was like 40,
I don't think Han Solo aged that quickly. Like, there's one thing, the whole, like, how did Obi-Wan age so quickly? Oh, because 2 sons, how he went from Ian
if you were like a
McGregor
space terrorist, you probably age poorly too.
Yeah. Nothing, I'm not calling, like, the actors just got old.
No,
That's
I know.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at like canonically, right, like the Chewbacca, that race, like they live to be like hundreds of years old. So Han is basically like Chewie's like 3rd or 4th dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Han was a rescue.
So,
Yeah, no, 100%.
that's good. So
That's even funnier because you haven't watched Solo.
Oh yeah. As far as I'm aware, don't they give like Han and Chewie the whole like reluctant like we hate each other first, but then we grew to.
not really.
Yeah.
No.
Aren't they like shackled to each other?
So at the start, Han gets like thrown in this pit with like the monster that's gonna like beat him up, and then that turns out the monster is Chewie. He saves Chewie, like he frees Chewie, and then that's how like the life debt gets started.
Okay,
Which is
I heard someone say that like, oh, they're reluctant to be together.
No, it's really not anything like that. Like they start getting along very quickly.
I almost want to watch this movie now just for the whole like seeing the iconic duo form. I'm falling for the nostalgia bait, but
it's good, but like I feel like Solo did a better job nostalgia baiting than Episode 7 did.
Well,
Right,
yeah, because it's not in your face as much.
Right.
Yeah. So I do want you to break down, because for a long time I convinced myself that The Last Jedi was the worst Star Wars movie. I still don't think it's great, for the record. I've warmed up on it a little bit, but mostly because I rewatched the prequels and I was like, oh no, never mind. Those are so much worse.
Yeah,
they're so much worse.
I appreciate the prequels, but I feel like a lot of the reason people were hyping them up nowadays is because of the memes.
Wait.
But we're getting better prequel era content now. That's the nice thing. But to go on,
he is right.
Oh my, that subreddit kills me. I mean, absolutely
memes?
fucking killed. Yes.
Yeah.
prequel memes. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they literally like. I'm pretty sure prequel memes is half the reason we got an Obi-Wan series. I don't know if they would have. They probably would have eventually, but like, there's a lot of. Anyways, well, we can get into that.
Wait, I just want to double before you start your big opinion here. The Last Jedi is Episode 8. Okay.
So that's the nice middle. All right, so this might be a hot button. It's a hot opinion,
Sure.
but I think that The Last Jedi is the best of the sequel movies. Not on the soul, but my main reason is that it's not nostalgia bait like the other two. And I know I touched on this earlier, but 8 tries to be something new, and I think it's because it's Rian Johnson was like, he's been handed this thing from J.J. Abrams, or like, here's a new villain, here's some new characters, go wild, and so he's like, okay, how do I do something that can, we already have all the stuff set up, so I got to push that forward while also being new, being subversive. I know, subverting expectations is a big meme, but he did that. Like I know not there's some people like Luke wasn't super in character, he wouldn't have become jaded, and while I do think some of the extended universe stuff is better for Luke, I don't hate the way he was depicted. I think Mark Hamill, even though he personally didn't agree with the script, he did a great job conveying that.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense. Luke did all this fighting, and then they came back anyways, and he's like, all right. Oh well, and then he fucked off because of Kylo.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because Kylo Ren killed the entire Jedi Temple.
Yeah, Kylo Ren told Grogu not to come to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
But The Last Jedi is not a perfect movie. I wouldn't say it's the best Star Wars movie. But it's the best sequel one. And let me check my notes here. This isn't.
So while you're doing that, I would like to say, so a lot of people like to complain about Luke's characterization in that movie.
Yeah.
And I actually don't like. I think specifically how he goes out at the end. How he has like the Force Ghost duel with Kylo.
Yeah,
I think that is like a perfect ending for Luke Skywalker. Are you kidding me?
That was one of those, because I didn't notice the salt thing. Like I thought he was actually there.
Oh yeah.
Even though I'm pretty sure they have a shot of a guy like he picks the salt up and he like licks it and he's like, oh, this is salt. And look at the planet's red underneath. Mm-hmm. And so, but then like the reveal, when Luke was just he was projecting the whole time. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, and it's like it seems like people like to think that he didn't like that wasn't in character for him, and I'm like, Luke died a hero's death so everyone else could escape the rebellion, right?
Yeah,
or the First Order rather.
I mean, that's like the ultimate rebel thing to do, sacrifice yourself. And
geez, like they didn't. It's totally not like they didn't start the original movie like that. No way. Yeah, no. Yeah,
they almost they could have almost done a parallel there with Finn also trying to sacrifice himself. I would have been sad if Finn died because I really like Finn, and I think he's like the biggest case of wasted potential
for sure
in the sequels. I think the concept of a stormtrooper defecting, and then they hinted at him having Force powers, and they just didn't go anywhere with that.
So did the marketing too for Force Awakens. That they showed him holding the lightsaber, like that was the money shot.
It was yeah. I think I know a lot of people don't like Rey, but I actually really liked Rey as a character. But I do think it could have been more interesting if Rey was the sidekick and Finn was the main character.
Yeah,
because I mean I don't know, but yeah, Last Jedi. I liked it. Stuff like the Casino Planet was kind of a waste of time. It didn't really do anything for the main plot.
Yeah, so
it was just here's Finn and Rose, and there's that other guy. What was his name? Like the
fixer. I don't remember what his.
There was like the guy they met that was like, oh, I'm like Dex or something, and I'm gonna help you guys, and he didn't even appear in 9. That was kind of a waste of time. I didn't mind the stuff on the ship, where it was like like when they were being pursued by the First Order, and there was all that conflict about like what are we gonna do, and it resulted on Jurassic Park lady. That was a cool scene. That was an incredible moment in theaters. Like it went just pure silent as she like light speeds through the ship. I thought that was one of the coolest moments of the movie.
Yeah. So I think my main issue with so if you know, I'm going to respond to some of the points that you've made.
Yeah. Sorry that I'm rambling.
No. It's cool because I like hearing people's opinions about this because there's so many things that went into the sequel to these sequel movies, and I find it fascinating to hear how much they fumbled the bag. Right? Yeah. like there's the workings of something great in all of these movies except for Rise of Skywalker. Like the first 2 movies, like they had something going.
It's almost like these movies were like the first draft.
Yeah, I could see that 100%. But so. The thing with the whole Casino Planet, right? For me, like it's one thing if it's just like a short little B plot that's kind of like a filler story. It seems, and this is the reason, at least why I was kind of okay that Rose wasn't in Rise of Skywalker like at all.
She should have been.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. I think because this is nothing against the actress for the record, because she got like so much flack for just poor character writing.
Yeah, it was the people shitting on her. Like she didn't. It wasn't her.
Yeah,
fault.
I mean, she's a fine enough actress. It's like she didn't do anything wrong. Like she did the job that she was paid to do. But I don't think there's no reason why Rose should have been telling Finn, the child soldier, that war is bad. Like, because that is the entire purpose of them going to that casino planet, and it's her being like, Finn, like people aren't doing so hot right now. Like, this is what the war, like, this is what the First Order does to people. And it's like, dude, he's on your side. He was recruited as a child to be a fucking stormtrooper, and then like he witnessed like people getting murdered in front of him. And it's just like, I'm like, I felt like it was just bad character writing, honestly. And again, so it's nothing against the actors, but
that to me feels like the writer just forgot Finn's backstory. Yeah, like because in the beginning, Finn's just like he's a rebel now. Like we don't have the setting up,
a space terrorist, if you will.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, that was certainly annoying. The kicker to me is they went through all that effort to release the space horses or whatever.
Yeah,
and then the Casino Planet was an island on an ocean planet. Yep. They released the horses onto the island that the casino's on, so they're gonna get found eventually.
Oh yeah, and then
the kid with the force. Whoa,
which I think stuff like that's cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, I think my other issue with Poe and Finn in this movie, and again, no fault of John Boyega. He's doing great. I just think
poor guy too got too much shit. Oh, yeah. He said that he would never come back to Star Wars.
I kind of respect
I respect it. Unfortunate because I really liked Finn and I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah,
I guess reuse it for another character.
Yeah, but I think having Finn, just not sacrifice himself at the end, because I was like, wow, because I remember watching that in the theaters and I was like, holy shit. Like, he's actually going to sacrifice himself. Like he's not going to come back for the 9th movie. And then, like, Rose comes in and it's like, you just risked the life of how many people to stop him from dying? Like,
it's because she liked him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but then the 9th movie did nothing. Like, it was the heel turn,
honestly,
right?
On that topic, the whole, like, Finn trying to tell Rey something the whole movie, that thing, I thought he was going to try to tell her that he loved her. Right? Because
yeah, I was gonna.
Even though that would have been very cliche for the male lead and the female lead to get together, but that's what I thought. And then it turns out you had to read a supplementary material, like a book they put out, and it was like, oh yeah, he was trying to tell her that he thought he might be force sensitive. It's like, why didn't you fucking say that? They didn't say it in the movie, but we had to fucking watch, I don't know, Babu Frick do his. I'm joking. I like Babu Frick.
Yeah, he was
That's
a
the
cute
first
little
thing that
one-off.
came to mind.
Yeah.
Babu Frick's coming back for
Let's go,
Mandalorian.
baby.
Let's go.
All right, Tyler. I want to hear you say something, and that I might be dropping my hottest take of the episode.
My favorite way to look at Star Wars. I don't remember where I saw this. It was either Reddit or like YouTube or something like that. But basically, someone's like, "What if you looked at Star Wars from the point of view of the Empire?" And it's literally like, like the destruction of the Death Star is like the 9/11 of the Star Wars universe, right? Like as far as we're concerned, right? We're rooting for the Resistance because that's like where the main characters are from and everything else, and like the Jedi Order. But like the reality is the Jedi Order like participated in like genocides and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Like the Republic was like clearly like a broken government system, whereas the Empire's like getting shit done and everyone has a job and everyone has food on the table, and it's like at the end of the day, like what are we really fighting here for?
Yeah, I mean, but Tyler, they wear black suits. They look.
Yeah, I know.
They're all evil.
And they're suspiciously based off of Boss Fashion, a very famous
YouTube unallowed word.
Well, saving that word would help with
They're
AI.
I did not see that joke
They're
coming.
putting the fashion.
Oh yeah,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly.
All right, I think I'm gonna drop my hottest take for the sequel trilogy.
All right,
Okay, Rey and Kylo should have switched sides. In episode 8, Rey absolutely should have made the turn to the dark side.
That could have been really
then
interesting.
Kylo should have,
and then Kylo brings her back. He's like, that's not you. You listened to me when I was toxic, but I'm not toxic anymore, Rey.
Yeah, I genuinely believe it would have been so much more interesting, right? So for episode 7 and 8, even in 9, it carries through. Like one of the very few consistent themes throughout those 3 movies is that Rey is struggling to find the light side of the Force, right?
Yeah.
So like her whole time in The Last Jedi is meditating with Luke, trying to get away from the darkness. I think the movie would have been, and episode 9 subsequently, would have been far more interesting if at the end, Rey decided to go to the First Order and Kylo went to the Rebellion, like after he killed Leia, and it was like, listen, like this is not the person who I want to be anymore. And then the following movie, you'd have like this whole kind of like fallen angel kind of thing going on for Kylo Ren, right? And I think it would have been far more interesting.
But then we wouldn't have gotten the scene where the 2 cousins kiss.
So fucking weird.
That was really like.
It's part of Star Wars tradition.
I know.
Okay?
I know it's Star Wars tradition of incest, but they didn't have to do it.
They had to do it. Okay.
Like Rey should have still been like, like how in the episode 8 they're like, oh, your parents are nobody. They were nobody. They're stupid farmers. They should have kept that. But no, Palpatine was your grandpa, and because of the timeline, that means wrinkly old like gross Palpatine like knocked someone up. I don't like to think about that.
Yeah, but they're making you think about it. So.
Oh God, are they? Palpatine series?
No. Thank God. No. I'm just referring to like the fact that we're even having this conversation.
Yeah, no. We had to end out the sequel trilogy with a little bit of incest before Kylo Ren dies for some reason.
I would say I don't think that storyline works because like I think that the most forward component of Kylo's character in those movies is the fact that he's just like too far gone, right? Like he killed his dad and he killed,
But like, you see him hesitate so many times, which is why like I think
he still does it.
Right.
He still does it.
Sure, yeah, but I feel like there's only so much. It's like by the time you get to episode 9 and he's still struggling, being like, oh, should I be bad? Should I be good? And then Rey is still struggling with, should I be bad? Should I be good? I feel like I should be bad. Yeah, like I'm like, the writing was on the wall, and like I don't know, and like maybe it's just because I just think that's because of the dumpster fire that was Rise of Skywalker, and I was
maybe what they do is they just nuke all 3 movies and just re-release 3 new sequels, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
But
that's never gonna happen. But that'd be great.
Like Luke wakes up and he's like, "Oh man, that was such a terrible dream." Like
yeah.
like exactly what they did to like the Christmas special.
It's
like
the it's the multiverse. It's
the multiverse.
The funny thing is the Christmas special actually is like the first thing Boba Fett appeared in.
Yeah,
so it's very important to the canon. But yeah, no, the multiverse. I'm not even like I said. I mean, I say I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but here we are doing a whole episode about Star Wars. But it just kind of hurts me how much potential there was, and they got these very talented actors and actresses. They had a huge budget. There was a lot of potential, and
it was just a lack of planning too. Like that's the thing that kills me.
Yeah, the planning too. Like not that they could have seen this coming, but Carrie Fisher dying between 8 and 9. ruined the send off that Leia, because this 9 was the last thing that Leia will have like chronologically in the Star Wars franchise.
Yep.
Oh,
And
who are you kidding? The mouse is definitely gonna bring her back for something.
Well, I mean, we'll get like stuff that takes place before she died, but we're not gonna like. It kind of sucked that like Leia, her final Star Wars appearance was comprised of extra footage they had lying around from the last 2 movies. That because when you're watching it, you can tell that they're writing around it.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're like, oh, hey Leia, let me ask you a specific question, and then she gives a vague answer.
Yeah, I don't envy anybody that has to deal with that, like on the crew that had to figure that out,
Yeah.
right? So, and it's the same thing with like when Chadwick Boseman died, right? And now they're just like they came up with like an in canon reason why.
Have they said how he dies in the universe yet?
No, they haven't. They like just in the trailer, it's shown that he's that there's like a funeral going on for him.
Yeah.
So, but that's all that we know so far.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like I don't know, it's just very sad to think that I waited my entire childhood to, and again, like this is making me sound like such a fucking crybaby, but like I waited my entire childhood being like, they're never gonna make Star Wars movies, but if they do, I'm gonna go see every single one opening night because I love Star Wars and I'm a huge nerd, right? And then I see them and they're just underwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Or to bad,
I think that you have to think of it this way, right?
yeah.
It could have been so much worse.
it
right?
could have been.
Like, imagine this, right? They come out tomorrow. There's gonna be an episode 10. It's gonna be the next saga, and like right next to Rey and all these other characters is Captain Marvel and
Oh god.
Oh my, no, dude,
the
that is
Guardians of the
the
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
new fear. I don't want that.
You can see them like
Crossover.
listening to like shitty 80s music and fighting and
You joke, but I guarantee you that we are nearing the potential future of Disney making a crossover movie. Because
Yeah.
I mean, look at
there's
Space
gonna be
Jam.
a DMCA in our YouTube inbox day one. They'll be like, "How did you get this? This was not coming
How
out
did
for
you know?
years."
I leaked script here. It's Donald Duck, Thor, Jar Jar Binks, and 4th Disney property, probably a Fox character, have to team up to save the multiverse.
And Family Guy.
Peter Griffin's there. He's the joke character because get it, we own him.
I absolutely hate that we're probably about a decade out from seeing that.
Hey Lois, remember that one time I saved the multiverse with Donald Duck? I mean, no, that's coming. I think they announced something kind of like that at D23. They're like, hey, all Disney characters crossing over.
There's still a little milk left in her. We didn't dry her out yet.
Oh wait, wasn't it? Isn't there like a Disney kart racer that's coming out?
There-
Right?
the- I mean,
was
that's-
that it?
Dude,
Or-
why does
No,
every
that-
media group need to have a fucking kart racer?
Because kart racers are cool. They're
They're
comfy.
fun, man. Yeah, who doesn't
Um,
like arcade racers?
No, that one's been around for but they're gone. If not now, later they'll be like, what if Captain Marvel met fucking Minnie Mouse? Wouldn't that be
Oh,
cool?
Yeah, no, I think we're about like a decade out from seeing like a giant like Disney
No,
crossover.
not even within the decade.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
we
yeah,
literally
that's
just
fair.
got Space Jam 2, which was a ultimate Warner Brothers wank fest, and now we're getting Space Jam 2, the video game Multiversus.
Just
yeah,
wait
you're
till we
right.
get Who Killed Roger Rabbit the second.
Oh, that would. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of the best movies Disney has ever put out, and I know that any attempt they will have at a sequel will be inferior because modern Disney will not put in the effort.
Dude, what do you mean? What effort? They own all those characters now.
Yeah, but it's like the amount of this. I could save this for another podcast. The amount of like effort that went into the animation. There's never been another animated project that was that ambitious. Stuttering aside.
Hold on, that's someone else's series.
Yeah, that's we're moving on. We're moving on.
Before,
But
our Star Wars podcast as we discuss how you can see the light of the lamp shine through Roger Rabbit's ear.
So, yeah, just kind of like the last section. Well, actually, there's 2 more shorter sections that I think we should cover real quick. First up, before we go into this, I want to say people like to blame Kathleen Kennedy for all of this.
Who's Kathleen Kennedy?
She is. I'm not sure if she's the CEO of LucasArts now, but she's a big head.
She's big girl on campus.
Yeah, like
Okay.
she made a lot of the core decisions and kind of like oversaw like this era of Star Wars after Disney bought them. That being said, I feel like she gets a lot of hate, because she has a vagina.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is a thing. Twitter gets upset about that.
And
Okay,
30-year-old
Redditor.
I'm just saying, man.
30-year-old Redditors agree that women should not be in charge of my childhood franchise.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah, and here's the thing. And then they proceed to not give her credit for any of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's great because she's been with Star Wars since almost the beginning, right? Hasn't she?
Well,
Or
no,
the beginning?
just since Disney bought them.
Oh, okay. I saw somewhere that she'd been involved with Lucas for a while, but like...
She might have been. I don't know like her entire history or anything, but
yeah, no, totally. I always notice that whenever something good comes out, it's like, oh, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, like you guys did great, but it's like she was involved too.
yeah. And again, honestly, that's nothing against Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Oh,
I
no,
would say
no,
they're pioneering some of the best shit that Star Wars. Has
Yeah,
ever
no,
had.
that's because that's the thing. Dave Filoni is a Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, he's worked for Star Wars forever, but he's still a fan of the franchise that he's working on, and that's why we get the good stuff. But
yeah. So, Disney Plus era. Tyler, you wanna take us off with the shows? Got anything you want to say?
So, all right, so the first one that came out was Mandalorian.
Yes, sir.
At least in terms of live action.
Yes.
So it was Mandalorian season 1, then season 2, then season 3, also called Boba Fett,
yeah.
and then now, which I have not seen yet, is the Obi-Wan
Mm-hmm.
and the
Andor and Book of Boba Fett.
Well, Book of Boba Fett.
Season 3 of Boba Fett.
I firmly
gotcha.
agree that Book of
And
Boba
then
Fett is
that's-
actually the season 3 of Mando.
And if you guys count Visions as well, that was the anthology
Visions?
anime series that
And,
came out last year,
Oh,
which
Bad
was
Batch.
awesome.
right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bad Batch. I never and Clone Wars season 7.
yeah,
So that's all in the Disney Plus era.
yes.
yeah,
So, and I think the majority of the shows have been pretty dang good.
yeah.
Well,
I
to be fair, even like the animated ones before Disney owned them were pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I will say the shows are, I think Star Wars works well in a TV format. You know, it's a little less what do you call it? Like they're able to work out their ideas a bit more, and it's not as impactful to the franchise. I mean,
Instead of seeing characters
yeah.
that were built with like a fucking sledgehammer and duct tape, you have time to see characters that were like chiseled finely.
Yeah.
out of-
Like-
yeah, and I feel like The Mandalorian is probably the best
Oh,
example
I would
of
say
this,
so.
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Where it's arguably the best Star Wars thing, period.
Yeah.
Right, and then
Yeah, man,
again, debatable, but like it's
Have
a
you
cut above the rest.
Played Lego Star Wars?
That's true. That's a fair point.
it's really funny to me that Mandalorian. He's a character that gets his roots from Boba Fett, because Boba Fett's like, even though in universe he's not the original Mandalorian, he is the original in the series. And I remember when they announced the show, I thought it was gonna be a Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna climb out of the Sarlacc pit and he's this cool badass doing bounty hunter missions. And then it's an original.
I mean, that did happen, to be fair.
That is, but it's just two separate things. Boba Fett climbed the pit, and then there's a
It was
badass
season 3, don't worry
Mandalorian.
about it.
No, Mandalorian it's definitely the best so far. And then you go to Boba Fett, and they're like, okay, we got Boba Fett now. What's he gonna do different? Because we got Mando doing the cool bounty hunter missions. So we turn the cool bounty hunter into
Easily one of the
he's
biggest badasses in the entire series.
Yeah, definitely one of the most badass characters in the entire series. Now he's gonna be a crime boss, but he wants to do things nice. He wants to be peaceful.
So if I may, all right, the reason why Boba Fett does not really work that well currently is because he is Boba Fett was not that much of a character before Mandalorian came back out.
yeah,
Wasn't he like almost... he was voiceless in the movies. I don't think he ever...
He might have said one or two lines, but
I
it
don't
was a
think
they were
very
like
minimal-
generically like, yes, I would go
like,
do that.
He
or-
stood there and he looked cool. That was his job in the original trilogy.
I don't think he spoke in the first movie he was in. I don't think he spoke in 3.
Oh, really? Because I thought he spoke in
I'm
Return.
pretty sure he was wordless in all the movies.
He might have been.
I don't
I could
even
be
know
wrong.
if he talked
I'm
ever.
pretty sure he said something when blind Han Solo shot him in the jetpack and he fell into the pit. What a way to go! This badass character.
Yeah, right. So
he did nothing.
he
in the
died like a
original.
bitch. Yeah, like
He-
he didn't really do anything.
Well, he didn't die.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So,
So he was just in that pit for like a couple of years, right?
no, he got out there like probably within like a couple days.
Yeah.
The show was really vague. With
But
the
then he was
timing of
stranded in the desert for
Yes.
an extended amount of
Yeah.
time. But no, I think the reason why Boba Fett doesn't work anymore is because
As the
they
third
did-
season of Mandalorian, there was only like 1 or 2 episodes where he was actually in it.
okay, there's that. But also, like Boba Fett as a character is everything that what we thought Boba Fett was is everything that Din Djarin the Mandalorian is.
Well, I
right?
don't think that's true.
I think that's 100% true.
Because
100%.
no. Because even in the the Boba Fett series, you see that he was like this ruthless, like he was driven only by money, versus Mando was like very much so driven by like Creed and by his
Money. Creed and money.
No, like by his upgrades. Even though like
He's got
the money,
standards,
he
but he
gets the
also
money
gotta make
so
that
he can
bread.
pay for the things that his clan requires.
Well, here's the thing, though, right? We didn't really have like. So here's the thing: Disney did try to redefine Boba Fett, 100%. But again, like we just said, he was basically wordless in the original trilogy, right? He didn't really do anything.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot
So
to
like
work with.
everything that the fandom thought Boba Fett was
Yeah.
for the past 40 years,
Yeah.
which was this colder, calculating bounty hunter with some admittedly pretty fucking cool armor,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did for Mando.
But I don't think that's the case. Like, cause like, all right, the time in the Boba Fett series where you see him act like he would have in the original movies,
Sure.
is when he like goes into the bar and there's like no fucking survivors, right?
Yeah.
Like he goes in unarmed and like he's the only person that walks out of the building. Like
Yeah.
that is not something that Mando would do.
I don't know, man, because you could see, like, I think Mando chooses not to be.
No. You ever watch Rick and Morty?
It's truly just too deep for me to understand.
Okay. Right. So in Rick and Morty, there's like a bounty hunter, like
Sure.
Crumbopulous Michael.
Yes,
Literally,
literally love
like-
killing people.
Here
I
I
love
go
killing
killing
people,
again.
old people, babies. It doesn't matter as long as you pay me. That is what Boba Fett was in the movies, and in like in the comics and stuff like that. That's the way he's described. Like even in the Boba Fett movie or TV show, when the gunslinger dude rolls up, he's like, "Oh, you've grown
Cad
soft,
Bane,
dude."
yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like that. The whole point is they were like horrible. Like they would do anything for money. Mando, he has certain principles.
I could see that.
He's
Regardless
got a son
the amount of
now.
money.
He's got baby on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, I think if we didn't have Grogu, though, I think we would have, which, I mean, is, like, a very interesting facet of his character, right?
If he didn't have
I don't
Grogu,
think
he
so,
would have
though.
stayed on that one planet with that girl who wanted to bone him.
Exactly.
Understandable.
Like he has all these, he like lives by all these rules and everything, right? Like,
That was like-
I don't know.
That was like episode 2 of the first season, right?
It really was.
With
yeah.
the season, she's like,
Oh,
"Why don't you take off your helmet?" And
It
he's
was
like,
early
"No,
in the season, yeah. It was.
Be gone. Let me drink my soup."
Dude, 2 beers in, all I remember from Mandalorian was the awesome like music. Dun dun.
I love it so much.
The music
man.
is really good. It's iconic in its own right. I
It
know it's
is,
only
it
a few
is.
years old, but like I'm almost nostalgic for the first
So
season of Mando.
it's actually a lot of fun because whenever I host trivia, so there's like the buzzers, right? It's like
Yeah.
when you buzzing. And whenever Amanda plays, her name is Amandalorian. So I have like the first 2 seconds of like the Mandalorian
Oh,
theme
yeah.
song. And it's good to hear.
Disney
Yeah.
hasn't copyright struck you for that?
They don't know.
Disney,
what the mouse
Disney,
don't
he's
know.
using your media. Disney, sue him. Sue him.
Dude, the DMCA is gonna be in your mailbox before you even finish editing this.
I'm just saying, man. What Disney don't know won't hurt them. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Well. Oh, also, I personally believe Obi-Wan is probably the worst show.
I haven't seen it yet,
No,
so I'm-
no.
Out of the Star Wars Disney Plus shows,
To be
absolutely.
No.
pedantic, I'm just gonna disagree until I see it.
No, Obi-Wan's better than Boba Fett. Because Obi-Wan, you don't get bored watching it.
I was extremely bored watching Obi-Wan, dude.
I don't know.
100%.
The only
How-
good
how
episode
many
of
times
Boba
does
Fett was the
Lady-
one that had Mandalorian in it.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 2 good episodes of Boba Fett. The rest were boring.
That was the entire back half of the season, though. Like,
Yeah, the Mando episodes.
yeah,
Yeah.
No, I agree. But here's the I found like the tribal version of Boba Fett, right?
Oh, you
When-
mean PTSD Boba Fett?
Okay, all right. So you haven't seen Boba Fett, or you have?
No, I have.
You have. Okay.
He's
Dude,
Boba
he's literally he's in the
regret.
back to tank just having PTSD nightmares.
Right.
And we're like, dude, that's so based.
But I think it's really interesting to see how like the Tusken Raiders culture and like seeing like how he was accepted into that tribe. I thought
I mean,
that
that's
was
cool.
I thought that was so much more interesting, and not to mention
And he ate the frog, and it did things to him.
also here's the thing.
it gave off really gross like white man savior vibes.
Is that your take? He's not white, Tyler.
Okay, but like the same idea. It's like
Yeah,
the civilized person with his technology is able to protect the desert people. Like I don't know.
He
It's,
didn't
it's
have
a bad
technology
take.
though. That's why they stripped him down. He became one of them. It's not
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, but then like the only time he uses his the pointy stick is when he runs out of like guns. He's like disarmed.
Yeah, but then when
Well,
he
yeah.
shows up in Mandalorian season 2, he's using the stick.
yeah. No, he's still no. I completely.
That's just
disagree
because
with
they were stuck on the bit by that point.
Well, they did that before Boba
that.
Fett.
Yeah,
with
they
the stick.
did. They
They
did.
planned.
I completely
Dude,
disagree.
I'm a
There's
firm
no-
believer that Boba Fett is just season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There's an episode in it where Boba's like not even in it for
Oh,
like
yeah.
more than 2 seconds.
Yeah, because it's
literally
called
just
Return of the
Mando.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
they're like, well, shit, we know that. It's like as if the writers knew, like, we got to give
Shit,
him
boys,
something.
our ratings are kind of down.
Well, the thing with Boba Fett, right? And I feel like people's issues with it, right? How like the majority of it was the entire back half was like Luke, Mando, Grogu, Ahsoka. If Dave Filoni just made a show called The New Republic, and it was like an anthology series, much like Clone Wars, which he already helped direct and produce, like I feel like a lot of the issues that people have with that show would just not be there, to be honest with you.
That's fair. I still think Obi-Wan is better, though.
Yeah, okay, so my thing for Obi-Wan, right? They... Like Leia gets captured like 2 or 3 times throughout the course of like
she's
6
like
episodes.
Fucking 6 years old. Of course she's gonna get captured.
Well, no, I'm fine with her getting captured, but like don't reuse the plot point. All right.
I mean, okay, fair, but I didn't find that. I didn't even notice that really. It's like you're bringing a 6-year-old across the galaxy. Of course she's gonna get nabbed a few times.
But for the record, I do think that Leia's child actor is actually pretty good. I thought she did a good job.
She did a good job.
Yeah.
She it's been a while since seen it. Like she delivered the lines well. She was a good actor. Facial expressions, movements, all that. I do think it was really funny though, that chase sequence they had in the first episode.
It was so bad. Yeah.
That was definitely. It's like, well, it's a 6-year-old. Like we gotta make it more than they just run up and catch her immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
So you get the fucking like 3 Stooges. They run into a tree branch and they get clotheslined and.
So okay, what I think personally would have been more interesting was if they did, and I get this could be like a not great thing, but like if she almost got like coaxed into like going with them, right? Because like Leia's like a pretty smart kid, right?
Yeah, well that was her whole thing. Yeah, she was smart.
Yeah, so like, I think it would have been interesting if at first, and again, it's Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, that was
like,
wild.
Yeah, it was. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I know that guy.
Fucking Flea.
But no, I think it would have been a lot more interesting if she. Like if she was playing in the woods and then like Flea just tries like talking to her, right, to like convince her to come, and then when she catches on, they catch her. You know?
They could have definitely done something because like her whole thing is like she wants the adventure. She doesn't want to be the princess. She was like, hey, you wanna go on an adventure? I got candy in my space van.
Yeah, but my main issue with it, right, is I feel like it could have just been a movie.
Yeah,
and that's the same thing with like all the Disney Plus shows, Marvel included, where I'm like,
I don't know. There's a lot in Obi-Wan though that I think like if it was a movie, you would have had to cut that. Like there's a lot of good moments. The first encounter that Obi-Wan and Anakin have, where like Obi-Wan's already kind of like, he's beat to shit, and then like the PTSD comes, so he's like limping away from him, and Anakin's like. He's just like casually walking, like he knows how strong. And then the confrontation on the rock planet.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
And I think I would have appreciated both of those moments a hell of a lot more if it wasn't shot on like a sci-fi original budget.
That's that, I will say the rock planet.
The show just doesn't look good. And like, I know I'm not trying to say objectively because like, but I feel like the other shows, especially Mandalorian, right? They're just shot so much better.
Did you like the fascist sympathizer mole man?
That was hilarious.
The fucking space truck with his space Trump flag hanging off the back.
What?
There's an episode where Obi-Wan. Do you mind minor spoilers?
That's okay.
I'll avoid anything plot relevant.
Okay.
But Obi-Wan and Leia are walking through this kind of like interesting setting planet. It's a very unique looking planet for Star Wars. It reminds me of like Midwest America.
Okay.
Kind of like the deserts out there, but a little more green.
Okay.
I thought it was a cool setting, but they're walking along this dirt road, and this fucking space pickup truck pulls up. Like, no, it's hovering, and there's a little mole guy. It's like he's just a mole man. That's the alien. And he's like, "Oh, you folks need a ride." He didn't have a voice. I think his voice was Zach Braff or something.
It was Zach Braff.
It's like, you guys need. I don't know what Zach Braff sounds like. It's like, you guys need a ride, and he's like, "Oh yeah, thank you. Like, we'll just take us to like the next spaceport." And they go around, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just hop in the back." And they go around the back, and there's a fucking flag of the what is New Republic with the First Order?
No, the Empire.
There's an Empire flag hanging on the back like someone would with like a fucking Trump flag.
But it was handmade.
And it was handmade too.
You could tell it was like painted on. It was
hilarious. And so they have to get in the back, and then like and he's asking them questions, and he says something that's a little fucking liberal. It's a little of the rebel shit. He's a Oh yeah. So then the space mole brings him to like a stop with the police, the stormtrooper stop and interrogate him. It's just really funny to me that there's like fucking the parallel to real life, and it's a little fat mole man. And it's like, y'all like the fucking
just like this.
I changed my mind. I like Obi-Wan now.
Yeah. It's
what
funny.
do you think the Hollywood people were trying to say?
Nothing subtle.
that my racist neighbor puts the fly on the back of his truck has the physique of a mole man. And he sounds like Zach Braff. It was just funny, like a space redneck in Star Wars of all things.
All right, so I mean that's kind of it for like the shows and the movies. We've covered the majority of those, but let's touch base on like some of the games, some of the comics, and stuff like that real quick. For me personally, Fallen Order was actually a great single player game. Again, it's an EA Star Wars game. I expected absolutely nothing, but I was very pleasantly surprised. It was a solid ass story.
Yeah, it wasn't on PC, so I didn't play it.
Yeah, it is.
It is on PC. I
played
think,
on
right?
PC. Yeah,
I have it on Steam, but I haven't actually played
Steam?
it yet.
yeah, dude, I played it on Steam like over a year ago.
I'm glad.
I got it for Christmas.
on job, bro.
My joke was that it was on the EA store, so it's not on Steam or not on PC. But
Yeah, I got it like for Christmas like 2 years ago, and I still haven't played it.
Yeah, no, dude, we agree on that. If it's not on Steam, it's not on PC.
so it is on Steam.
It is on Steam.
I've just heard like it's a really good story.
What's
It
the
is.
Star Wars game that's only on EA?
Is it Battlefront maybe like the remake?
maybe. Yeah, like Battlefront 2 or whatever.
And one other thing that I feel like is worth noting is the Darth Vader comic from 2017 by Charles Soule. He writes novels as well, but he's a big Star Wars guy. Oh, actually, Charles Soule, he's writing that the 8 Billion Genies book.
I was gonna ask because I think I know what Darth Vader comic you're talking about, and I read it's a similar style. It's the one where like he kind of befriends. Darth Vader like befriends a dude, like a stormtrooper or something.
No. So that is, I think, the sequel series to this one.
Okay.
This one takes place directly after Episode 3. So it goes into like a lot of like the relationship between him and Palpatine and like the struggle that he had in his early days of trying to figure out like, am I this evil motherfucker who's like scaring the galaxy?
Did you read the comic with the zombies?
No, so I was going to
Star
ask you
Wars
about that.
zombie.
So I saw you put that in the notes. Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know the name of it, but it's like the premise is that there's this like Imperial prison ship, and some Imperial group comes to land on it to like drop off prisoners, but they're like something's off, something's not right. Blah,
There's an
blah, blah.
imposter among them.
Literally though, so it's like apparently like the entire crew and like some of the prisoners have been wiped out by this virus that turns them into zombies.
Wait, is this a game? Is it a book?
It's a comic.
Oh, it's a comic. Ooh,
Yeah, it's a comic.
That's kinda
and
cool.
like there's a furry prisoner who has like a human roommate. Like might be famous in the Star Wars series.
Understood, yeah.
But it's like the cover is like really famous. It's like a zombie stormtrooper.
Oh yes. I know the cover.
I don't know the name of it, but it was. I read it briefly and it was pretty good. Pretty
right,
good.
yeah,
And I'm not really a
neat.
comic guy, so.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, how about you, buddy?
Before
we get into Lego Star Wars, of course.
that I was gonna say the only Star Wars video game that Battlefront 2
Yeah.
on PlayStation 2. That's a classic. That and Lego Star Wars, the only Star Wars video games I'm pretty sure I've played.
And we're talking about the one on the Wii exclusively.
That dude.
No,
my
PlayStation 2,
childhood
dude.
right there. Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I had both those games on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I had the complete saga, of course, on the Wii. Yeah, me and my brother must have killed like hundreds of hours, dude. Like it's
Me and Goose. Oh my god, dude, you have no idea. It's a good thing the Wii doesn't tell you how much time you wasted.
oh my
The
god.
the one I had on the PlayStation 2 was all 6 movies. Is that also the complete saga?
yeah,
Probably.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
But it's a
okay.
lesser version
Yeah,
because there wasn't motion controls.
You
Yeah.
could swing the lightsaber around, man.
Yeah, we actually had functioning controls.
Oh no.
Hey,
Shadow down.
Settle down.
The character creator was pretty great at making your own custom character.
Dude, you could unlock Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, I loved playing as Jar Jar Binks solely because he had the double jump.
True.
And then you'd get like all the red bricks, which basically unlock cheats. You remember when like you could like unlock cheats through gameplay and not pay for them with microtransactions?
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
You had a special
right?
code. You go to the Scholastic Book Fair and you get the cheat code.
Yes.
Cheat codes 2006.
Your mom would give you a couple bucks. You're like, oh, like make sure you get like a good book, and you come home with
the fucking and it's like
gamer guy.
and it was always a cheaply made book with like
Yeah.
the gray almost translucent
Yeah.
pages
And half of the cheat codes
Man,
didn't work.
yeah, dude, I was fucking lied to. Do you know, so even as a kid, in like looking back on it now, I'm like, it wasn't even a thing. Like, there's no way to do that. Was in those cheat code books, I would always search for Pokemon, right? Because I was obsessed with Pokemon as a kid, right? Like a lot of
As a kid.
I've weaned off since. I still enjoy Pokemon.
Weaned off. Everybody, just remember this when we don't upload any episodes around November 18th. You know what Jared's doing.
Yeah, where were you on November 18th, 2022? Anyway, but no, so like I would go into those cheat code books looking for Pokemon cheat codes, right? But there's no places in the game to type in a cheat code. Yeah, I was scammed. I was lied to.
I remember one that was like, you can unlock Darkrai in Super Smash Brothers Brawl by beating like 100 matches in a row at night. And I did that, and we didn't get Darkrai. It was very sad.
So anyway, Lego Star Wars is great.
Lego Star Wars is great. I played a lot of it with Goose. It was a lot of fun. I definitely remember my favorites were like the ship missions where you were like flying through space.
Yes.
You know, that was pretty unique. Have you guys played the new Lego? Like
I
the
have not.
actually,
I haven't.
or the Star Walker saga?
All I know is there's a really funny side quest where you get that blue elephant dude from the Cantina band or whatever. Or what he's like
Glupshido.
His name is like, it's like the blue elephant dude who's playing the piano, and like I think it was in Jabba's
So not
band.
Guido.
Yeah.
And,
No.
And you have to like escort him to his next gig, but like Jabba's people are like pissed off at him, so they're like hunting you down as you do it.
It's easily one of the funniest games I've ever played. Like because it's completely voice acted, like all the tongue in cheek humor that was just like, you know,
like visual gags.
like visual gags. It's now like also like written really funnily too. Like for something that's like meant for like, you know, 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I'll have to give it a try.
Definitely worth
At
it.
least for the nostalgia sake.
And it's on PC.
Ooh.
Indeed it is. So I did something. I'm known for making tier lists for no good reason. Let's be honest.
We haven't done that yet. We haven't had our tier list stream.
Yeah, which we still need to do. I want to get like a big group of us in there, you know, bring in some other future
For all
to-be guests.
2 of our active viewers.
Yeah, okay. But here's the I enjoy making tier lists just because I think it's hilarious to argue with people. Like, for example, apparently sipping on juice on Thanksgiving is better than drinking wine, which is just...
Wait, what?
Do you not remember that argument?
Yeah, with a good pal of ours in Discord was chastised for preferring juice over wine, and I say the poor man got bodied. Wine.
Damn straight. Me and Tyler put him in the ground.
You guys don't have Baja Blast with Thanksgiving dinner?
I don't even know what I have with Thanksgiving. I have just water.
All right. So anyway, as I said, I make tier lists for no good reason.
Yeah.
I think they're fun. I think they're fun because I like to see where like mentally I'm at. You know, with some of these things.
It's like an exercise.
Yeah, and I did that with pretty much all of the Star Wars like watchable media. I didn't include games or anything because then we were going to be here for
Right.
forever. So I have my never again tier of movies and shows.
Okay.
And I already mentioned these earlier. The bottom one is The Phantom Menace. Followed up by followed up by Attack of the Clones and then Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay. I keep mixing up Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi.
Sorry,
Same.
I can see the episode numbers.
No, it's fine. I'm a filthy casual. I'll get over it.
No, it's okay. I'm in the same boat. I need numbers.
Okay. Okay. So in the bad tier, 8.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Listen, it had potential. Okay, and it's nothing against Ryan Johnson.
You know what? I'm not even like gonna argue with you on that because it's the best sequel movie, but it's not necessarily.
As a Bond fan, you didn't like the Casino Royale references?
I thought it was.
We should do a James Bond episode.
No, we shouldn't.
Yeah, no, it would only be me.
I did think all the practical effects on the like ugly aliens in the casino was pretty fun.
That was that. You know, like that stuff was cool, right?
Yeah.
Like they did the visuals nice. Followed up by Obi-Wan. Sorry, guys.
Haven't seen it yet.
No, then we got Boba Fett.
Okay,
Wow.
I
Boba
still
Fett
can't
is in
believe-
the meh tier.
I still can't believe that's
Season
above
3 Amanda
Obi-Wan.
was not that bad.
I didn't. I thought it was fine, but then like a lot of it just felt hollow, right? So like when Cad Bane showed up at the end of Boba Fett, the only time they have ever interacted is in deleted scenes from the Clone Wars animated series.
Dude, what do you mean? I loved it. They hyped him up. They're like, he's the baddest bounty hunter in the entire universe, and they just fucking shot him dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then next up, this is gonna be a hot take. Sorry, fellas. Return. I think Return of the Jedi 6 is just kind of a meh. I feel like
Okay.
I feel like it's pretty easily the worst of the original trilogy.
I haven't seen it in a long
Wrong.
time, but it's got the minions in it, so
Damn.
How bad can it be?
The minions. I think next up is like the good stuff. So the stuff that I enjoy watching.
Okay.
I will watch it again. Force Awakens. I'll stand by it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, because you can point
I
at it and be
can't
like,
believe
I
you put
remember.
That above 6.
I really don't like.
I can't believe that you enjoy that Member Berry Fest, but not the Member Berry Fest that was Obi-Wan. Even though Obi-Wan was it's like instead of member berries is member wine. It was
I think
tastefully done.
You know, if they gave the Obi-Wan show more of a budget and just made it a movie, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I was so bored.
I'm sure it might have been a movie at some point, and then Solo bombed, and they're like, well, so much our one-off movies.
Solo bombed?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Solo
Wow.
made like no money.
Huh.
Well,
Yeah.
Disney also didn't advertise it. It's like they knew it was gonna bomb.
They gave it the Atlantis treatment.
Yeah.
yeah. And then so after Force Awakens, still in the good tier here, we have Revenge of the Sith, number 3.
Okay. All right.
Generally, I think of all the sequels, I think that one holds up the best. You know, like again, the writing not great in most of it, but like there's a lot of the iconic stuff where we see Palpatine turn to the Emperor, we see the Obi-Wan versus Anakin
I
duel.
have the high ground.
Yeah, okay, but here's outside of the memes, that's a really great scene. Like that's
No,
one of the most
it's-
powerful scenes in Star Wars.
It is. It's like this tragic thing, brothers.
Yeah.
They were brothers.
See, I didn't
I'm your
like
brother.
that movie because basically like all these cool characters that they'd written in the first 2, they're like, fuck, dude, like none of these guys were in like A New Hope. Like they have to be dead before that movie starts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Order 66, like I think seeing how Anakin became Darth Vader and then like came to power, I think it's a really interesting, like, don't get me wrong, like there is stuff about the prequels, which is a whole other conversation where it's like, oh yes, Mace Windu killed this dangerous bounty hunter and our entire clone army looks just like him. We shouldn't investigate that. like it's ridiculous,
Here's a little mini hot take in the middle of that. I think Order 66 kind of was stupid when it was in Episode 3, but later Star Wars media that fleshed it out has made it really interesting.
I can agree to
Like
that.
Clone Wars,
yeah.
a lot of the Disney Plus stuff has like gone into like what happened during it.
Yeah.
And I think they turned it from it's just like, look at it, all the like it was almost like comical the way they were just mowing down
Yes.
Jedi, and then they've recontextualized it to be this actual like very sad and very kind of like I was spoiled a little bit. I know in the video game, Tyler, do you care about spoilers for the what was it?
Fallen Order?
Fallen Order?
Oh, that's fine.
I believe the tutorial is you, like the main character going, like it's what happened with him and his master during Order 66.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's actually kind of like drip fed to you, which it
Oh.
works really well like narratively.
Yeah.
So each time you unlock a new skill, it's you as a Padawan going through that training.
Oof.
And then at the end of like your training, when you fully become like a Jedi again, you get fully like reconnected with the Force. That's when you view the scene of you and your master trying to flee the Jedi Temple, getting sent off into space to avoid Order 66.
Did either of you ever play Knights of the Old Republic?
No.
Yeah. Oh, I always forget which one's the MMO, which one's the single player
I
one.
think that's the MMO.
I always forget. Yes,
but like
I've played the
allegedly
MMO.
that like game is like incredible like on its own.
The story is pretty fantastic.
They were gonna remake it, I thought.
They are. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because I would like to play that.
Okay. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
All right. After Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope. A New Hope's pretty great. It's the classic.
So wait, where are we at this point?
We're
What
still in
tier
the
are
good.
we?
We're still in the good tier.
How many tiers above this tier is there?
2.
Wrong.
Wow. Okay. All right. Next is the awesome tier, which I'm like, fuck, that's awesome. We have Star Wars Visions. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person here who's watched that, right? The anime anthology series.
No, I haven't seen that yet. No.
Did you watch Visions, Charlie?
No, I haven't.
I think I've seen like clips of it. So like it's probably good, but
Yeah. So I mean, I think it was great. A couple of the episodes are kind of misses, kind of. But I mean, most of them are pretty fantastic. Next up, from what I've seen of Andor so far, the first episode, it's actually shot really well, which I appreciate. Then we have Empire.
what?
Empire episode 5.
Oh,
Is in the awesome
Strikes
tier.
Back. Yeah.
It's pretty freaking great. Then these are all like kind of loosely ordered, like in the tiers. Next up would be the Clone Wars animated series. There's a shit ton of filler, but the 7th season is just incredible. Particularly the last 4 episodes of
Chronologically, where is the 7th series or the 7th season?
it takes place during Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, wow.
So it's during episode 3. So you get to see Ahsoka during Order 66.
Interesting.
And they wrap up the Darth Maul side plot that's been going on throughout the entirety of Clone Wars.
He's not dead?
No.
Oh.
Did you not know that Darth Maul's been alive this entire time?
Well, I mean, I should have assumed since everyone else that's fallen into like a
Exactly.
bottomless fucking pit comes back.
Exactly. Now we just gotta bring Mace Windu back. That's all. He hasn't been brought back yet. I'm just saying. I think if anybody survived, it's got to be Sam Jackson. You know. No. So after Darth Maul got cut in half, he pretty much survived on Force bullshit, and he had like bionic spider legs for a hot minute. Okay, I know I'm not selling it because I know it sounds goofy, but like,
Dude, I
it's
just want to
actually
see
really
Mace
great.
Windu and the lean saber come back.
Isn't he still the only purple lightsaber
Yes.
user?
In the movies and shows, yes.
Nice.
Not in the comics and books.
Ooh, extended universe.
Extended universe. Next up, also to wrap up the awesome tier, we got Rogue One.
Okay.
Rogue One's pretty awesome.
That's pretty
right?
good.
From
Yeah.
what I've heard.
Perfect. Things I would not change at all. There's only one movie left. We already talked about it. It's Solo. I think Solo's pretty.
Solo is like the soap opera of the Star Wars series.
How dare you? How dare you? When
How
the
dare
sand-
you?
It's no.
How dare you put Rogue One and A New Hope in two separate categories?
I think Rogue One holds up better than A New Hope. If that's what you're asking.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. No, okay, but here's the thing. There's two properties, two shows
Uh-huh.
that I think are perfect in Star Wars, and I wouldn't change a fucking thing.
Mando.
Yeah, Mando's up there, obviously, and then Gendy Tarkovsky's Clone Wars, the original animated series.
On Disney XD?
No, it was on Cartoon Network. It
Oh,
was
was it
released
really?
between episodes 2 and 3.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
so this original Clone Wars series introduced characters like Grievous, right? And it just showed like it was very.
That's
quick.
where Captain Rex came from, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much like all of the expanded lore that we got in the 3D Clone Wars series basically got its start in this 2D animated one, and the action is just flawless.
Isn't there a Lego Star Wars series as well?
I think there's like a Christmas special. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Have you seen the original like 77 Christmas special?
I actually never have. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. All right. Is there anything else that you guys want to add? Is there a feel like it did?
No, I
Nah.
I
Oh, wait,
haven't
yes.
I haven't seen like enough of Star Wars, I think, to really give like a full ranking.
Okay. All right.
Most of it too, I haven't seen it. Like, I don't think I've seen any of the originals since I was a baby.
As fellow survivors of the 08 recession, can we all talk about the fact that probably every one of us put that giant ass like Death Star Lego set on our Christmas list,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though there was no universe where we were getting it?
Yeah.
You know what I did get though? I got Grievous's Starfighter. That's a nice modest $25.
I had the
Lego
Naboo
set.
one,
Yeah,
the,
the
the
Naboo
yellow. Yeah.
Starfighter. Nice.
I got SpongeBob's pineapple.
You used
That's
to have
rad.
the SpongeBob too,
Yeah,
right?
the one where it's like the giant SpongeBob
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
open them up and all the plankton shit is in there.
Lego
That's
Star Wars
pretty
was
cool.
dope though, you know.
Love Lego Star Wars, man.
Yeah,
Still probably like one of their best themes. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's awesome.
You know, it saved Lego, right? Like Lego,
But I thought that was Bionicle.
Hey, listen.
it was a
listen.
combination of the two.
Thank you.
One of which, like, you know, survived, if you noticed.
Yeah.
One of them was good and the other one was Bionicle.
Jared's
Watch
gonna have a
it.
monologue
Watch
podcast
it.
in a couple of months where it's just him talking about Bionicle.
I'm not sure if you guys looked at the Google Drive that we have for this stuff, but I actually include like I wrote down. I was like, I want to do a Lego episode, and then in parentheses, it's Jared's Bionicle rant.
Yeah, that's the
You
one
can
where
record it without us even
Upcoming,
here.
yeah, guys, listen. Yeah, I'll be like Alex Jones, just like talking to myself, being like all the dots are connected.
and then the island was actually a giant Bionicle the whole
We
time.
were in Matanui the entire time.
Tyler, don't say anything if you agree 100% with what I said.
Oh shit!
Oh boy.
Stuff.
All right, so yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So, Jared,
fucking hate
tell
Star
me, do you have
Wars.
a pick of the week?
I do have a pick of the week, Tyler. Thank you, and I believe we're sharing it as well.
Well, you know, you basically stole mine, so I have something else too.
okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I support your pick of the week.
All right. My pick of the week this week, one thing that I enjoyed, could be something I did, could be a show I watched. In this case, it was another show that I watched. Cyberpunk Edge Runners came out on Netflix.
Damn, it was so good.
I binged that shit in 2 days. It was amazing. Holy shit. And I think a lot of it is because of Studio Trigger, let's be honest, because they don't miss.
Did you Did you watch it subbed, or are we not friends anymore?
I watched it sub.
Okay.
Yes. However, I got made fun of by Amanda.
Why?
Because she asked me if I prefer watching it sub or dub, and I was like, well,
and
I
you
think,
said the right answer.
Well,
So.
well, and here's the thing, right? I feel like if there's a bad Japanese performance, I can't tell. So I look at it. Do you know how many times I've watched an anime and I was like, wow, like this dub just sounds wooden, But anyway, no. So Cyberpunk. Here's the thing. I've always liked the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Of Cyberpunk as a whole, whether that's Ghost in the Shell,
keep this tightly knit, because I feel like we could definitely milk an episode out of this in the future.
We totally could. Long story short, Edge Runners kind of reignited my love for what I thought Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I think the character writing was super well done, and the pace is fast.
Yeah.
Man. It within 10 episodes, you're like, yep, shit, that was that guy's like entire professional career as a.
Oh no! What are you trying to say?
No. I'm not saying that.
I will say, as someone who'd already played the game before watching the show, that it did an incredible job of mirroring your experience in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact that just shot for shot, everything that you see in the show is 100% like in the video game. Like every single scene, every single vehicle, every single weapon is something that is straight out of the game.
That's cool.
Yeah, and
it was like the what's what of oh my god, I remember being there. I remember
Yeah. Well, and again, the show got to the point, it got me to the point mentally where I was like, I gotta play.
You and everyone else, Cyberpunk now has more players on Steam today than it did when the game came out.
Yeah. So, in that case, you want to take your the back half of your pick of the week?
I think Charlie should go.
Yeah, Charlie, you want to jump in?
Yeah. I
want to hear about the show.
My pick of the week is the new "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" series.
Did it get picked up by someone? Is it on?
It's on a British television channel. So I watched it. I took to the seas, if you will.
Whoa.
And by the seas, I mean I won't name the website so they don't take it down. So more people.
Maybe you utilized our sponsor this week.
Yeah, Mint Mobile.
Shark Surf. Surfshark.
VPN. The Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared series. It's pretty good. It has the same vibe as the original, though because it's for television, there's a little less they can get away with.
Too spooky.
So it's less gory and more psychologically spooky.
Yeah, the Brits are good at that too.
Yeah, and it feels a bit more the original ones, kind of had this overarching theme that
generic fever dream.
Yeah, but they all still were pretty just scary. But this one has kind of an overarching plot that kind of builds up to the final episode. And I'd say because I watched all of them in order in a binge, and when you do that and you get to the ending and then the ending that happens, it's like whoa. So pretty good. Go check it out. British listeners, all 0 of you can watch it legally on television.
Whoa. Hey, listen. I checked our analytics. One person from Brussels watched this.
Woo,
we're in Belgium,
that's
baby.
Incredible.
Dude, shout out to Brussels.
Yeah.
Not the UK though, so they can't watch it. But if you're
Belgium seems tight though.
Yeah, Belgium's cool.
Yeah.
Got waffles.
Thank you.
Cool.
So go watch it. Funny puppets doing a spooky thing. My favorite's the duck.
How far have you gone in Eastward? Have you played any more since we last chatted?
I wish I could say that I have,
Okay.
but every single time I get the urge to play, it's 11 at night, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
So, I was going to talk about Edge Runners, but I had to come up with my own pick for the week.
Sorry, buddy.
I also watched Bee and Puppy Cat, the Netflix release, the Lost or Lazy in Space.
Oh,
so they
okay.
took the original hour of content that was released on Channel Frederator, and they reanimated it into the first 3 episodes of the new show, and then or maybe the first 3 or 4 or something like that, and then the next 12 is the season 2 that was never released.
Oh, cool.
So it's really, really good. I was not what I thought it was at all. From seeing the limited stuff that was on YouTube all those years ago, I thought it was just gonna be this cutesy show, but it's actually really surreal, very much like Eastward, that weird combination of sci-fi and fantasy where it's just not at all what I expected. It was really cool.
It's got a very interesting production history too.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it recently. I was like, being Puppy Cat's still a thing? I remember seeing it we were in either early high school or something.
Even middle school.
Maybe even middle
it
school.
Came out really early.
Yeah. So good for them for being able to get it picked up and such.
So I'm hoping that because it's popular to get to season 3. It was that good. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I'll have to go to watch.
Might need to peep it.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that about does it for our Star Wars episode.
Yeah,
everybody.
Our Star Wars episode that was probably only like a good 60% Star Wars. I mean, that's pretty good.
Actually,
That's pretty good.
We
for a
did better than
podcast,
our first episode. I gotta say, though. I think we did pretty damn good. So
yeah, we did good here.
Yeah, boys.
Let's pat ourselves on the back.
Get another beer.
We'll get another beer, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, see you
Next time, yeah.